Tonight, we're going to be talking about New York Comic Con 2024 and sharing our predictions on what's in store from new HasLabs, maybe some Mondo Real Ghostbusters reveals. Who knows? We're going to talk about it tonight on this episode of Geek Dad Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Live. My name is Jay Glatfelter, and joining me tonight is my good friend, Gregory Allen Peck. How are you doing, Craig?
I can't believe
Gregory Allen Goldberg.
you guessed my actual name on your first try. Thank you.
I'm so excited you're here tonight because we're both going to New York Comic Con. This is my first time going to New York Comic Con.
Okay, cool.
Never been.
So I had never been, and now this will be my third in the last couple of years.
Okay.
And it's fun. It's a great time. It's way different than San Diego Comic Con in a lot of different ways. So I can't wait to talk about it.
Well, exactly. You know, I feel like I was, I was a guide to your. Was I a guide to your first? I feel like I answered a lot of San Diego Comic Con. Was I there for your first time?
Jay, you've been there for all of my firsts, and you've always helped guide me.
But I feel like I had a lot of experience. But now I'm turning to you because I have no clue what to expect in New York this week.
Well, I would say this as a San Diego Comic Con expert who's been going for 20 years or whatever it's been. I think you will be able to easily navigate New York Comic Con without any issues. But it is fun. I'm sure it'll be crowded. There's a lot of great guests. Lots of awesome companies that are going to be there vending, and there's hopefully going to be some cool reveals and exclusives. And I heard a rumor there's even a little panel Saturday night.
What a great segue. Yes, because Saturday night at 7 p.m. prime time spot will be the New York Comic Con edition of Toy Tubers Unite. And not as many YouTubers this go around. We may have one more. There's one that was like a maybe big time toy tuber that hopefully we'll be able to add. But officially, it's the Toy Anxiety crew led by you, Craig, and myself talking about all of the big reveals. Will you have like a New York Comic Con edition of sad comments section?
Oh, I'm sure we will. Here's the first sad comment. Being that it's New York Comic Con, I wish our panel was at the library because that would be awesome. But it's not. And did you see? It looks like what they're doing wherever our location is. You might have the information. Whatever the name.
I don't yet. They haven't sent me that. Someone was asking me today. I was like, actually, I don't know where our panel is. I know this at 7:00.
I actually do because it's on the.
Was it on the website?
It's on the website. And let me tell you this. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay.
Saturday night. Okay. I'm trying to vamp a little bit. We're going to be doing a panel.
We're going to be doing a panel.
And
at the Javits Center.
At the Javits Center. And the cool thing is Toy Tubers Unite, 6:30 to 7:30. Let's get the time right.
Okay. Oh, it's not 7. It's 6:30 to 7:30. Okay.
6:30 to 7:30 at the River Pavilion. They are doing toys and collectibles panels all day on this stage. And we are the headliner.
We're the headliner?
We're headlining Comic-Con. Yes.
Oh my God. This is incredible.
It is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link.
Let me look at this. I got to pull this up instead of we're putting the link in the private chat. Where are you putting it?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the private chat. It'll be at the bottom of that page. Yeah.
Okay. So let's look this up. I wonder who's opening for us then in that scenario.
Oh, that's so this is what you do. You look up the River Pavilion for that day, and then you check out all the other. Okay, so Nacelle is at 11 a.m. with their Star Trek reveal.
Then
McFarlane at 1:30. The Toys That Made Us at 4. Gentle Giant, and then us.
Wow, closing it out.
Yeah,
we made it, Craig.
We really
did. We did it.
We're headlining. McFarlane's opening for us. And unlike the McFarlane panel, we have A woman, Abigail, will be with us.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, it's spoiler alert. D Amazing's the person who is a solid maybe to join
Right.
us.
There you go.
Jonathan from Nostalgia Bucks. He was a yes when I submitted the panel, but it couldn't make it for this go round. But for sure, Craig, Abby, and Jacob will be there as well as myself.
Do you really need more than that with us?
No,
You want to talk about 4 people who love the sound of their own voice? I mean, come on.
But anywho, this should be a lot of fun. This should be a lot of fun.
I can't wait.
We could have submitted our pictures. We could have had our pictures here. Next year we'll be way more prepared. I remember they asked for headshots, and I was like, I don't have any headshots.
No,
I don't know what you want from me.
We're all toy shiz now. No photos. We're mysterious.
Next time. Do you have any headshots for your crew, Craig? Am I slacking on that?
We don't have headshots, but I've long wanted to do like black and white 8x10s that look like wacky morning DJ shows for WYHS radio. No, but I think getting headshots and signing them and sending them to people is pretentious, and I want to do it.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love it. So yes, if you're at New York Comic Con, I mean, if you all the toy stuff isn't the same thing the same day, so you just hang out and we'll close it out, basically probably covering what was ever revealed in those panels.
Right.
Well, ours, so it'll be great.
I'm sure we're gonna get to it, but Hasbro has a panel Friday night.
Yes.
Mondo has a panel Friday morning, and there's gonna be a lot of big stuff going on.
There is. I think those are 2 big things I want to talk about tonight, just from New York Comic Con, or what I'm excited about from New York Comic Con. But before we get into anything, Craigery, Alan Goldberg is.
Do you want my real? I've got middle.
Okay, can I guess?
Yeah.
Craig Michael Goldberg.
No, but that's good.
Okay,
it's close. It's a name.
Craig Steven.
I'll tell you this. I've emailed you a lot of times, and my email address is my full name.
Oh, you're right. Hold on. Let me just Google my email real quick.
Let me Google my email.
Craig. Oh, do you want me to reveal it live tonight?
No, because now I'm realizing that it would give away my personal email address.
Yeah, exactly. That's not good.
If you guys want it, you're gonna have to work for it.
You gotta join YHS Patreon and tune into the next Extreme Toy Anxiety. All right, let's say
my Hebrew name is Sal or Saul. S-A-L.
Saul. Okay, very nice. But at least your stage name, I'm pretty sure, Craigery Allen Goldberg.
Cag.
Cag. Quip, Jack Knight, Dorlaxian, Boocat, Miggy M, Angry Elf is here, Christopher Gage, Gray Fox, Mint with Card, Ryan Dolers is here, Larry Kiki World. Maybe one of these times Ryan Dole can make the trip and join us on one of these things.
He will, but it'll be a surprise. None of us will know, and he'll just walk out with fanfare and smoke machines. And
I will say, we're going to try to do the same thing at Celebration in Tokyo, so maybe that's the first one.
Yeah, and then I think Ryan's planning on coming to San Diego next year, so we're going to be... We're on the road here.
Yes, taking on the road. Larry's Geeky World, Matt Bush, Shelf Presence, Tony Durbano, Alex, Steven, Make Mine Marvel Legends, Chris Quip is here. Riley Bob's been on for 2 years and 2 months. Thank you, Riley Bob. Derek Ova, S.A. Cone Killer Confuser, The Mitch. I Play Nerd, Mike Moen Rondo, Video Power Gaming is here, Chad Stewart, Damian Ristro, got a couple repeats, Pablo, Jake Holmes, Randall Guzik is here, Matt Bush has been a member for 2 years and 2 months, thank you so much, Matt. Nick Dillinger is here, Riley Bob, Master Blaster, Mo Das, Chris Maury, Tony Johnson, James Venable, and so many more. D-Space Center just showed up. There we go.
Love that.
Sometimes it's good to be like the last chat that I see.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be the first one because
never the first. Actually, I'll go all the way back. The first chat that I see, at least for me, historically, was Doralaxian.
Yes.
And Damien Ristery and Video Power Gaming back at like 646. So
nice.
Let's talk about some of the big companies trying to have some big reveals.
By the way, I brought my guitar in case we
ooh, a little singing songing. Okay, I like that.
Do a little sing. No, I'm just putting it down.
Like a singing song. I like it. A couple other anniversaries though. Frankie, Studio Henge, J-Rod, Flash, everybody that's a GDL fan member. Thank you so much, and especially to our anniversary.
I got
family members. All right. And Chris, Shiny Plastic People, is upset that I didn't plus him in. But if you notice, Shiny Plastic, the people have been gifting a GDL family memberships. I don't know if that's been the same thing going on for you all lately.
We've had some of those, yeah.
And so many people have gotten GDL family memberships, except for Shiny Plastic People. It's randomized. You don't know, and he's kind of upset that he still hasn't gotten a free one. But Shiny Plastic People, it's only 99 cents.
Come on, Shiny Plastic People. No, wait for the listen. You ever play a scratch off ticket and win $1? Even though it's $1, it's still exhilarating. So
sure. No, I understand that. I understand that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna plus in Yes Have Some's fantastic Instagram profile.
Thank you.
Because on y'all's socials,
yes,
you have mentioned that Hasbro's confirmed the next Ghostbusters HasLab will be revealed at New York Comic Con.
Yes.
And we are all assuming, aside from Ryan Dole, that it will be an Ecto-1 of some sort that we will get to try to back and all that fun stuff. Chad Stewart gifted 5 GDL family memberships. I don't know if Chris got one there. I'll pull up the live stream on my computer so I can actually see who got it. Johnny Cock, Mark, Artho, E. McNeil, and Kalani Dubler all got gifted memberships. Sorry, Chris.
That's awesome.
It's very awesome. Thank you so much. Slime Blower confirmed. So let's talk about it, because if it is not a Plasma Series scale Ecto-1, will people riot in the streets?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be flipping tables at Comic-Con, other people's vending tables. No, I mean, here's the thing. So there's 2 kinds of people out there in the world. Smart ones who the people that are in this chat, who know what's going on. No, in all seriousness, I mean, probably an Ecto-1, right? We've been lucky enough to be doing some work with Hasbro over the last 6 months. On Ghostbusters Day, we did like a little Q&A. It was like this tongue-in-cheek kind of thing where they basically went, it's definitely probably maybe a Plasma Series Ecto-1, but you'll find out soon. And then at Comic-Con, we did this thing on Hasbro Pulse where they gave us some clues, and it was kind of like, hey, what do you think it's like? Come on, guys. It's clearly an Ecto-1. I know there's a lot of people out there who want something else, maybe. Like, I know people say Slime Blower a lot, which I get. 1-to-1 scale Slime Blower. I feel like
I heard you say Slime Blower is not a great idea. Because you've had I feel like you said on this show, because you've had a replica, maybe you still have a replica Slime Blower. It's not the smallest or easiest to display.
So I think a Slime Blower would be incredible, but I do think that for hardcore Ghostbusters fans, that is an iconic thing. For the general public or the rest of the toy buying community, it's not as iconic as a Proton Pack. You got to remember, the Proton Pack didn't even come with the wand. It was $400. So I think a full Slime Blower with the gun and the tanks, I mean, $700-800. It's very big. It's twice as tall as a Proton Pack. So I don't think it's a bad idea. And if that ever happens, that would be amazing. I feel like it's a little bit more on the risky side. But then again, the Proton Pack did very well. The Trap and PKE meter did very well. But I do think that they are, God, he's so
Ryan Dole. Oh, Craig sold his Slime Blower to buy a set of James Bond Jr. figures.
I mean, the funny thing is like,
so accurate.
That is such a, like, It's like the new Saturday Night Live movie, which is incredible, by the way.
Oh yeah, you saw it. Is it worth? It's good. It's good.
It's
is what you're
so
saying.
good. Everybody go see it. Absolutely loved it. It's wild. But they take a lot of stories and combine them into like one solid narrative, and like Dole's just picking things out of my personal history that aren't
I
really.
just love that James Bond Jr. is definitely a toy line you would have like gone all in on.
I have a lot of them, but
Yeah.
you know they're not that expensive. Also, James Bond Jr. Very cool. I think a slime ball would be really cool. I think the thing is though, I think for 6-inch action figure collectors, which is still kind of the bread and butter of what Hasbro does, GI Joe Classified, Marvel Legends, etc.
Sure.
I think it would make sense, especially people want, people are really excited about Plasma Series, and there hasn't been any offerings in the 6-inch scale from Ghostbusters this year. A lot of people were surprised by that because of the movie coming out and everything else. So, I think this is going to be kind of like one of those things as a longtime Ghostbusters fan. Jay, you've been in it as long as I have.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a 6-inch scale Ecto-1. Ever.
No. And to me, and I think we did this video, what was it, like almost a year ago? It was like beginning of this year. We did that video of just like, oh, Plasma Series is dead, right? Because we had this new Ghostbuster movie coming out, and while they did have some stuff, it was kind of more the kiddie style toys, which I really did dig. But there wasn't the big rollout like we got for Ghostbusters Afterlife, including not getting any Ghostbuster Plasma Series. And in that conversation, I think we brought up how, if they did a HasLab, an Ecto 1 or 1A in that scale to the Plasma Series figures is kind of a white whale for Ghostbusters collectors because of what Matty Collector did with their toy line. And for those who don't know, it's kind of a well-known thing within the Ghostbusters community. But, it was such an exciting thing when Mattel decided to, explore the Ghostbusters license. They got the license, and then they unveiled at Toy Fair, New York Toy Fair. What was it, 2013? No, it was earlier than that.
Oh,
I'm saying just the toy line itself.
The license, I believe, was like
09?
0809. Yeah.
Yeah, 0809. And they had these 2-ups, I think, of Dan Aykroyd or, Ray Stantz and Egon Spengler.
Yep.
And Slimer, I think. And it was just so exciting because finally, we're getting collector level Ghostbuster figures. And the second we got those figures, I think we all were talking about how, okay, you got to at least have an Ecto. You got to have an Ecto for them to stand in front of. And to your point, in 2013, was it at San Diego Comic-Con? They unveiled that they're going to do a crowdfundy type thing.
Well, I think it was just after they had done the MOTU Classics Castle Grayskull, which,
yes,
I mean, give Matty Collector credit to be like way ahead of the game in crowdfunding. I mean, this was a very, 15 years ago or something. So
forever ago.
But they they rolled out that they were going to do an Ecto 1. They did not have a model. It was famously like a styrofoam standee. And the big selling point was it really rolls, which became an early Ghostbusters fan community meme. And then I think the price was $200 or $225 at the time, maybe $250, and they launched it at Comic-Con. They said they had till like October 31st to fund it, and then it got off to a really slow start, and they were like, all right, August 1st is the deadline, and then they killed it with fire before it ever had a chance. So
and it was a bummer. It was kind of a kind of the end of the line, really. It was like, if that couldn't work, there just wasn't much more for Mattel to do with the toy line at that time.
And no, they had really exhausted most of the movie figures that they were going to do. I think the following year they did one last figure they did for Harold Ramis. They did the Courtroom Egon, which was like, I think, a Comic-Con exclusive. And then they here's something a lot of people forget about. I think at Comic-Con 2013, maybe 2014, they teased that they were going to do a proper 6-inch line of real Ghostbusters figures, and then it just never happened. So,
Mm-hmm.
but all that to be said, the Matty collector figures scale perfectly with Plasma series.
They do.
It's
It
they're
fills in some holes in there. Yeah.
fills in some holes, and then because there's never been a 6-inch scale Ecto One, even if you don't have any Plasma series figures, if you only have the Mattel figures, I think you're a potential customer. Even if you have the Diamond Select figures, which are a little bit bigger, but scale wise, it'll be close. I think there's a lot of entry points to collectors for this.
Absolutely. And that's where I asked I asked it in the chat, like, what would you be most excited for Ghostbusters HasLab, an Ecto 1 or 1A, 6-inch scale, a Firehouse playset, a big, I didn't spell Stay Puff right, a big stay Ouft, or a
Stay
slime bear.
out. Always
Stay
stay out.
Ouft. So if you're doing this live, hit up the poll in the chat. But I think since that was 2013, it's been over a decade of, you know, built up desires and crushed dreams and hope that one day, you know, toy collectors could get a 6-inch scale Ecto 1. So that's where, to me, it's clear as day that's what this thing is going to be. You don't make this again, you don't do all the stuff they're doing, plus the work they've
Right.
done with, some replica Ghostbuster groups. I've heard rumbling of that going around. You don't do all of that without it being the Ecto 1, but hey, you don't know till you know.
You don't know till you know. And I will say another thing that's really cool is that I think that action figure and toy collectors are smarter and more sophisticated and more in tune than, like, the collector of 2024 is way different than the collector of 2013.
Yes.
It's like might as well
Yes.
be two different lifetimes. They've had a lot of success with larger vehicles in the classified line. Like
Yes, they have.
6-inch collectors are willing to pay a lot of money for a 6-inch scale vehicle. Not Star Wars fans. Star Wars fans are kind of their own thing. They want the legacy scale, 3 3/4, and I totally get that. But I really do think that now if it is the Ecto One, you're gonna have a lot of people who are really happy.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore Ghostbusters action figure fans are going to be happy. General
Yep.
Ghostbusters figures fans are going to be happy. I think car enthusiasts will be happy. Toy collectors in general will like it. There is going to be a big chunk of Ghostbusters fans who go, already have a bunch of Ectos. And it's like, hey, this is not like, if you're a general Ghostbusters fan / collector who likes to pick up little knickknacks, and maybe you got the Proton Pack, maybe you buy some of the Spirit Halloween stuff and you pick up an action figure here or there. I get it. Spending several $100s on an Ecto One is not for you, but HasLab projects are for, like, the most dedicated toy collectors. Like, this is not, yes, it'll reach it to a general audience and it probably needs that to be successful, but like, this is something that the fans have wanted for a long time, and hopefully that's what it's going to be.
Well, the thing is, the Miller Meteor Hearse 1959 conversion Cadillac Hearse, it's a boat. It's a big freaking car. And when Blitzway said they were going to do the Ecto 1, like, I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool to get the Blitzway Ecto 1. Now I own the Hot Toys DeLorean and the 89 Batmobile. But even as someone that's a diehard Ghostbuster fan and someone that has bought big ass replica cars from movies that I love, I have never ever had the courage to want that Ecto 1 from Blitzway because it's so freaking huge. And I feel like this, if it is that 6-inch scale Ecto 1 for your Plasma series figures or your Matty collector figures, or if you just want a cool looking Ecto 1 but it's big, it's not as small as maybe the Hot Wheels one, some of the 1/24, 132 scale Ecto 1s, like, I feel like this is your chance. This is your chance to have a highly detailed Ecto 1, and that has me the most excited about this.
Well, also, like, there's been a lot of Ecto 1s, and I know the Blitzway Ecto 1 looks really good, but talk to a well-versed Ecto 1 enthusiast,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll pick it apart and tell you everything that's wrong with it and why it's not the exact replica that it needs to be. And a lot of the reason that happens is because the Ecto 1 that was in the movie, and the one that exists now, even though it's the same car, it's been updated, it's had upgrades. And a lot of people base the designs for toys and collectibles on the recent stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
um I talking to some of Hasbro's team at Comic-Con, and like I can't think of his name, but there's one guy who's a designer there. He's the guy who did the Cobra Rattler. Like, they go deep, and they go like, people, especially in toy tube land, like, I know it can be really easy to be critical of toy companies and
Mm-hmm.
everything and whatever, but the actual people who work on these products are really like brilliant designers, and they put a
Yes.
ton of research in, and I'm not expecting anything like, I think they know that there's probably more risk associated. They could have done Ecto goggles, right? They could have
Yes.
done a $200 $200 pair of Ecto goggles and probably
Call it
funded
a
it
day.
pretty
Yeah.
quickly. But they're doing something that's a little bit more like, hey, um, put your money where your mouth is. Fans have been
Yeah.
wanting this, clamoring for it, and
Here's
it
your
won't
chance.
be for everyone, but um,
Well, I will say, I'm going
watch
to end.
Friday
I'm
night
gonna
slime blower.
exactly. We're gonna have like one of those angry thumbnails, like "How could they? Big mistake," whatever. Something like that.
Why
All
are
right.
we covered with goo?
All right. Into the poll, and I think the poll backs up what you're saying here, Craig. What would make you the most excited for a Ghostbusters HasLab? The Ecto 1 or 1A one by a large margin, 55%. The Firehouse was at 24%, Slime Borer at 10, and a Big Stay Puft at 9%. So in the forefront is the Ecto 1 or 1A.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Um, I see people a lot wanting the Kenner, or a lot of the times talking about wanting the Kenner Firehouse re-released or done
Yes.
as a HasLab, and
Mm-hmm.
that's always really confusing to me because um, you can go to any vintage toy store in the country and buy a complete Kenner Firehouse right now for maybe $150, maybe
Yeah.
200 tops. I know you might not get the box with it, but now if they were to do like ever like an updated version of a Firehouse, or like a premium whatever, like a MOTU classic style Ghostbusters
Yes.
Firehouse, like I would be really into that. But yeah, I don't know.
No, it's I think Dole brings up that argument a lot of just like re-releasing things we already had or could have, right? Because they exist.
Right.
I'm along that line of thought where I'm just like, Hasbro, you have Kenner, and you could release Kenner real Ghostbusters stuff we never got. You
Sure.
could do a Kenner Sam Hain, you could do a Kenner Boogeyman, you could do a Kenner Janine, just a regular Janine in her, civilian clothes. You could do you could tap in, you could give us a Ecto Glow Janine, whatever. Like there's just a lot you could do that is cooler than just re-releasing something we could already get. Not to gatekeep Firehouses, but you're right. There's plenty of them, and they aren't like $1,000. You can get one
Yeah,
for
I
a
mean,
reasonable price.
sure. If you want a sealed vintage Firehouse, yes, that's going to be a lot of money, and those are really rare. Um, but I do think that it all the clues are pointing towards an Ecto one. I know
Yeah.
people are. Do you want to like talk about what stretch goals might look like? I know people are
Yes,
talking about that in the
absolutely.
chat.
I don't want to post in the super chat for McFly Toys. Just popping in. Look forward to seeing you guys at New York Comic Con this week. We'll watch in full on the rerun. Good night, all. Thank you, McFly Toys. Let me plus in a couple chats before we kind of dig a little bit deeper into this. Let's see. Obviously, it's a sticker for the tires of our cars, a white wall sticker for the tires of our cars. That would be great.
Obviously.
Obviously, it's right there in the picture. Don't mind the Ecto, but come on, a large Stay Puft, says Damien. Riley Bob says wrong, Ecto 1A. Big Snacks life-size painting of Vigo. There was a movement for that to be in this poll. That would be fun. Toy Collector Magazine, what are the odds that the HasLab 6-inch Ecto or scale Ecto 1 will be slightly undersized? That's an interesting thought. Like, would they try and, since it is such a big land boat?
I think that would be, I hope not. I think that would be something people would not like. I think like if you're going to do it, you got to do it, right?
Yeah, do it right. This is a HasLab. This is not something that has to be on a retail shelf.
Right.
Got to go for it. Could they offer a choice of 1 or 1A like the Cantina? How would GB collectors react to a choice? I think
that's interesting.
Let's pin that because I think you want to talk about potential tiers and stuff. I think that's a good observation there. A true 1/12 scale Ecto would be 21 inches long, 8 inches high. Sign me up, says Jace. And Toy Collector Magazine says if there are no electronics licensed sounds, I will be very, all caps, disappointed. The siren sound is as iconic as the car itself. And Jace also agrees this definitely needs lights and sounds. And Thunderhouse Design, 25 months member anniversary. Thank you, Thunderhouse, for being a GDL family member for that long. But let's talk about it. So how should they approach the tiers here, folks? And
there's always a lot of tiers with HasLab.
Right, exactly. With fears of tiers, some fans may want to but hopefully if the tiers are right, we could all be head over heels in love with the tiers. So Craig, what's your thoughts? Did you have fears of the tiers? Or are you feeling pretty good? I don't know. How would you do it?
Well, how would I? So you mean like everybody wants to rule the world? So if I ruled it,
Ooh, what would I do?
Damn
it! I should have had that in there.
Yeah, because it is a, you know, it is a mad world. Okay.
I just want to see a sea of love.
Flock of seagulls. Okay. So here's the deal.
Here's the deal, Jack.
Here's the
no
deal.
Joke.
Wait, what are we quoting?
Now I'm just going to the Dana Carvey Joe Biden impression. It's so funny.
It really is good.
It sounds good.
It sounds nothing like him, but the cadence is literally
it's
perfect.
Just that's what I love about Dana Carvey. He just finds the little things and he locks into them. And it just makes me laugh so much. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so I've got a couple thoughts on this.
Okay.
I do.
I'm being serious here.
I saw a couple people earlier saying like, you know, the plasma series figures have not been out. Like, it's not an active line right now, so it would make sense to have some sort of stretch goal be the Ghostbusters, right? Like especially if like they want people who are like, hey, I've never bought any of this stuff, but I could get an Ecto 1 and some Ghostbusters. Like, but I don't think so. I have a lot of different minds of this. I don't think they should just re-release the plasma series figures.
You got 2 thumbs up
that exist. Look at me go. As stretch goals, right? That would be bad. But I don't think you're gonna do like street clothes Ghostbusters. Like I want those. Like that's what I want. But I realize that most people, when they envision the Ghostbusters, aren't thinking about like when they're all in jail. That's how I perceive them. So, and I know some people are bringing up Ghostbusters 2 suits, which
that's what I want. Can I just say it? I want dark GB2 suits. That's what I want.
I mean, that would be really, really cool. I'm always suspect of something like that happening.
Why? It's a repaint. Just you have to do nothing.
No. I get it. I just feel like GB2 never. It's always on fans' minds. I feel like it's not always on like the product people or even like Sony. Like, you know, Ghostbusters 2 is beloved for the fans, but it's sometimes
it is overlooked.
It's kind of overlooked. Now, if they were to do that, I think that would be amazing. I know. First of all, I don't think this is going to be an Ecto 1A. I don't think. I think that would be amazing.
Really? I say go. So
They'd
you're
have to go
saying
with
you
what.
think what GB2's a no-go because the Sony and them don't love it.
No. I think there's a possibility of all of this. I don't think that if they're going to do a HasLab of an Ecto 1 or an Ecto 1A, you have to go with the one that is more likely to have more people buy it, which
Sure.
is the Ecto 1.
Sure.
So people keep talking about like I'm just reading in the chat, like people are talking about like an option for an Ecto 1A or an Ecto 1 or something like that,
Yes.
or add-on like I mean I
do want to
hope
press this in
so.
because
That
it's
would be
connects.
cool.
I love this comment, so I have to do it.
You have to.
That's because it's too hot to handle, too cold to hold, Craig.
Hey, I was at Walmart the other day and that song was on the radio and I was into it. I was like, yes, this is the song they should always play here.
I agree. I have a hot take that I think On Our Own is better than Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters. That's my hot take.
I agree.
I said it before.
I don't disagree. I obviously the Ray Parker's great, but like Bobby Brown on our own when I hear that song, it like you hear the Ghostbusters song every Halloween and commercials, like it's Ghostbusters, but On Our Own takes me back to a very specifically great moment in my life at 5 years old with the Ghostbusters 2 poster on my wall, playing that cassette, wearing it down, like just dancing by myself, learning all the words. Just kidding. I was 39, not 5. Yeah, no.
I remember watching the video on MTV. I remember it coming on MTV, and my dad was like, "Oh, there's Chris. He's Superman. Superman's in that video." Just because they had all these little cameos and stuff like that.
Donald Trump's in that video.
Donald Trump is in it. Yeah. See, we promised not to be political, but we got some references.
I'm just stating a fact.
It's just he is there.
That cultural phenomenon. Donald Trump is in the Ghostbusters 2 video, which means he's
also in Home Alone 2.
He could be a
connection to sequels.
Could be a stretch goal.
Oh God! No.
They want to appeal to a new part of the audience. I think there's a chance.
No,
you don't think so?
That is how you lose an opportunity to get a HasLab across. I mean, again, you'll get a certain subset or a half or whatever. That'll be
just
really
people sitting in their house with NFTs, coins, $100,000 watches, gold sneakers, and an Ecto 1.
Oh God. But anywho,
we love Slimer. We love him.
You got a little Slimer.
We love him. We love Janine.
Here's what we're talking about. God, I can't. All right, let's just move on.
This is like fun. We're just having fun. This is just fun.
Just good times. Good times. Election seasons, they're great. So where were we? Ecto 1. Tears. Do you
give me ghosts? Give me action figures of ghosts. Give me a bunch of them.
Right. I think you have to. It's kind of, is this a wrap up of Plasma series? And if it is a wrap up of Plasma series, and again, I'm just talking out of my butt, I don't know. But if it is, you have to kind of give us a set of Ghostbusters, maybe again some ghosts, because we haven't gotten any ghosts. You gotta give us Slimer, you gotta give us Janine or Louis Tully. You gotta fill in some gaps. And I think I liked what they did with the cantina. Well, I didn't like the cantina, but I liked how they had the two different options. I like the two different options. And so I think instead of tiers, you just go like, here's your baseline one, and then here's your deluxe one that maybe gives you everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. It'll be interesting to see if they start doing that versus doing the traditional tiers. I've always felt like with the stretch goals, there's lots of pros and cons for them. For every great reason to do it, there's a reason why it actually kind of hurts the campaign. I don't know. I just think, and I hope this is not the end of I don't want this to be the end of Plasma
Mhm.
series. The best case scenario is that it's so successful that Hasbro um uh that Hasbro is like, hey, we're gonna do more because we have to, because we blew it out of the water.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just it's such a viable brand, and like I'll say this, like they're not interested in losing money or having failing campaigns. Like Ghostbusters has done well enough for Hasbro to warrant
Yes.
the continuation of more product, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I also think a little friendly competition isn't hurting. In
Absolutely. I
in the
think
world of
Mondo being in
Ghostbusters.
the mix is a great thing, right? And I think I've said this before, like with back in the day when Super 7 was all engines go on their Turtles line. I feel like it made NECA try harder, and NECA I think won, if you had to say, when it was all said and done. But I don't know if NECA would have been as I don't, who knows, but I just feel like you have Mondo doing these real Ghostbusters figures, which
Yeah.
we're both really big fans of what they've shown and the potential of what could be.
Right.
So I think it's a good thing, because now Hasbro's like, okay, well, now we have competition. There's not only one maker in the game here. So let me plus in some more chats. Ryan Dole, it will be the 2016 Ecto.
No, it won't. It just won't be, okay?
I love that. No, it won't.
We all turn into little kids about all this stuff. You're lying. It's like it's like that kid whose dad isn't around, and he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's because he's in
I-
the CIA and lives in
yeah.
Japan, and he already has a
The
PS7.
FBI.
They've got PlayStation 10 over there, so yeah.
And the thing is, like, I remember kids that would say that kind of stuff.
Oh, there was this one
Um,
kid who was like, there's a bunch of other Friday the 13th movies that they've never released in America, but I have them on VHS. They're banned here, but you can't see them. I'm like, shit. I need to see those.
Pre-internet days, man, anything could be true. You didn't know.
I was up all night trying the code for Michael Jordan and NBA Jam that this kid told me. Could never get it to work.
Never ever. Mecha Man Blade melted marshmallow tier. Can I just say, if it is the suits but with marshmallow goo on it, we've already done that already, so they can't do it again. They've done the marshmallow goo already.
No,
They haven't.
Every other company has.
It was slime. It was glow in the dark slime. Yeah, Hasbro. I will
don't
be
mind.
upset if it's marshmallow goo. Can I just say?
I think Ghostbusters is different than, like, I think with something like G.I. Joe Classified, you really need like unique deep cut variants and army builders and stuff like that. I think for this one you need some prime Ghostbusters. Like I think people will be enticed to go, wow, I could get an Ecto 1 and 4 Ghostbusters. I've never bought a Ghostbusters toy in my life, but that's really cool. So
I mean, it's fine. I just don't want marshmallow goo ones. I want GB2 suits ones.
Okay.
Because those are my favorite suits. And I still have the the Mattel ones, the Toys R Us exclusive set, the Christmas set or whatever.
Yeah. Jay, I also like the dark suits from Ghostbusters 2. In fact, some might say that I have one that was used in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in Ray Stance's locker. Some might say that.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Do you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's mine. Hey world.
Did you steal it?
No. I lent it.
Oh, cool. That's pretty neat.
So yeah, I like the charcoal suits. I like
humble
them.
brag. Okay.
I'm not humble. There's nothing humble about me. Hey, actually, somebody on our YouTube comments the other day said I was that Craig is very humble. Then I liked it. I immediately called and told my entire family.
Garaka from Frozen Empire. Yeah, Ghosts. Any Ghost. Randall Guzik. I can't wait forever. for Ghostbusters. Thank you, Air Supply.
That's good.
And then you do better Trump than me. Can you do a reading of this one?
Oh, Slimer. He's eating the cats. He's eating the dogs. I saw it on TV. That's not even very good.
Nah,
Guys,
he had a little. It was a more sing-songy kind of
he's
thing.
eating the cat. Well, it's because everybody made it a song.
I know, everybody turned into a song.
Slimer would not eat a cat.
He would not. He would not. Pizza though. He'd eat that pizza.
He would.
If there's a ghost in the pizza, he'll eat it. Spoiler alert.
Frozen Empire rules. All right, keep going.
I love Frozen Empire. People that didn't like it can go to hell.
Well, yeah, me too. We'll all go together.
But that's yeah. So I think anything else we want to talk about this, because we talked about it for like 30 minutes now. So I don't think we need to
listen. We can speculate till we're blue in the face, but I think we're gonna know by this time next week. This is gonna be a much different conversation.
So stay tuned.
Brian Brink in it by next week.
Brian Brink is at the ready, folks. He's at the ready. At least I assume so. And we will be tracking the performance, and both Craig and myself, the whole YHS crew, as well as me, will be at Comic-Con. So whatever they show off there at New York Comic-Con, there will be videos on our respective channels. So if you haven't subbed, hit that sub for both myself and Craig. Would it be more YHS channel or both channels? Like, what are you posting on for this? Because it's kind of both worlds.
This is always hard. My guess is the initial video content we do will probably live under YHS, but we'll probably do some additional stuff for Toy Anxiety as well. I hate having 2 YouTube channels, but YouTube says I have to if I want anybody to watch any of the stuff. But it is fun to have the YHS channel be a primarily Ghostbusters dedicated account.
It is nice.
And yeah, we're gonna be there. We'll be on the ground covering it all, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. So stay
and also,
tuned.
Toy tubing is more fun when there's an active HasLab campaign going on. Just in general.
There's not enough we need more crowd funds. It's kind of our, thing we can talk about.
Yes. Please.
Whoa. Hey, Blake, we're pro Ghostbusters here on both of our channels. You're throwing around slander like this. It will be the Ecto one. It will be $3.99, and it will struggle to fund. Shoo. Okay.
I mean, he could be right.
I guess let's close on that. Do you think it struggles to fund? I think if it's an Ecto one, I think it does well.
It depends. Does struggle mean it takes to the last day? Sure, that could be it. I have no idea. I thought the Proton Pack would struggle to fund, and they sold 25,000.
It crushed.
So maybe I'm just a little bit of with Ghostbusters. I'm always like hand on the steering wheel, 10 and 2, but my eyes are closed. Just like make it be good and fun and make people happy, and I don't want to look at it. But I don't know. Like, all these HasLabs are expensive, so
true.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it in the chat. Will a Ghostbusters so we don't know for sure, but will a Ghostbusters Ecto and HasLab struggle to fund? Let us know your thoughts. Do you agree with Toy Collector Magazine?
Look out for this comment next week on various Ghostbusters Twitter accounts and Facebook pages. It'll be something like, how much it costs, LOL, nope, not for me. I'm fine with whatever Ecto one they own. You're going to see a lot of that. And it'll be anything from Hot Wheels to Playmobil to Kenner to whatever. And all that translates to is, I can't afford this. And can I just say, and I've been on this kick for a long time, it's okay to not be able to afford something. It doesn't mean you're worse than other people or worse off. Unless you ask Ryan Dole, he probably will tell you a different story. If you can't afford it, please don't buy it. That's all I'll say.
I think if they kind of split it up, if they go like a 300, 400, I think that's a better path than just the 400 or something, or 350.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's so many variables. I think the stretch goals, whether or not it has lights and sounds, how
Yes.
accurate it is,
Yeah.
how good the marketing is. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this kind of stuff. But they do a ton of they do market research. They test this stuff. I'm sure if they're whatever they're going to do, they feel confident that it will be successful. So
Okay.
I'm
Um,
excited.
I love this to Blake. You're a struggle to fund.
Your struggle. I will struggle to scrounge up the money to buy it, but that's never stopped me before.
Yeah, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. There was a couple things I wanted to buy, and I was like, no, Jay, you got a HasLab coming out.
No, listen.
You need to
Everybody
hold up.
needs you need at least 5. Okay? You need an Ecto 1, an Ecto 1A, like you could customize it to an Ecto 1A. Then you need an
Oh man, if
Afterlife.
it's like two, like I have to buy two to get one and 1A, I'm
You need a
screwed.
listen.
I'm
You
so
need a
screwed.
Afterlife, you need a Frozen Empire, and then just one to do with what you will.
Can I just say, like, if I only could afford one, I think I would want the 1A, just because it's different, and it's just you don't get as many 1As.
You should though. Ghostbusters 2 rules. Haven't we covered this already tonight?
We did. Okay, let's see what the chat says. It's about 50-50. Will it struggle? Will it not? 49% said yes, it will struggle. 50% said no, it will not. So
There you go.
50-50. Toss up. Too close to
Let's
call.
go to the undecided voters.
Yes.
I liked the part where they
How
said
are
they
you
were
still undecided? No,
They're always like this. I thought it was interesting when she said she would help fix the economy. But I also thought it was interesting when he said he would help fix the economy. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I really think those people are fake. It can't just.
I like these people that sit around all day going, damn it, if they could just fix this economy, I would know who to vote for.
All right. Moving on. Mondo's gonna be there. They have a panel. Like I think we talked about at the top of this. We at
Yes.
Comic-Con, we saw the first two sets, the Venkman and Sam Hain, and the Egon and Boogeyman.
Yeah.
I assume Mondo will be showing more RGB stuff.
Hey, real talk. I felt like going into Comic-Con, I had my finger on the pulse with Mondo. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty quiet right now. Like, I don't really know what to expect.
Yes.
But I think that might be a good thing. Maybe they got a little October surprise.
They got some up their sleeve, maybe.
Yeah. I hope so. I would love to see the designs for. I mean, they already said they are definitely doing Ray and Winston, right? So
yes,
it's more of a matter of when, who are those going to be packed in with as far as the premium ghosts and what the other accessories and goodies will be. I can't wait. I'm unbelievably excited about these figures.
Yes. And so do you think we'll see Ray and Winston?
I think possibly, but I also thought that the Peter and Sam Hain set would have already gone.
Right, it's supposed to be fall. I'm
fall.
surprised they haven't put orders for that yet.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: if the Venkman and Sam Hain, because they're doing one at a time, which is a good thing. If that goes on sale during the HasLab, do you think that is a? Do you think it's direct competition or conflict? Do you think it's two different wheelhouses, or what do you think?
I think it's two different wheelhouses, both literally and figuratively. But for me, I kind of I need both, and then it's really expensive because again, I don't know, but say it's like you need to buy two to get a 1 and 1A. I want a 1 and 1A, and
right.
And the Venkman set we know is going to be $202 to get the Sam Hain and Venkman. So, say it's $300 $400, we'll split the difference. Say it's $700 plus $200. That's a spendy October.
Yeah, but also go to the grocery store one time. Everything's expensive, and that's why we need somebody. Maybe Mondo will fix the economy. No, It is. It's a lot of money, and I think that I am glad they're gonna.
You got okay, listen. Can I just say something about grocery shopping? Not to tell people how to live their lives, but I go to like 5 different places on Sundays because we track who has the cheapest thing. And then we go to Costco, Wegmans, Trader Joe's, Target, Food Lion. Like we strategize our grocery buying to get the cheapest price.
So that sounds great. I cannot imagine the way that we grocery shop is when it's time to eat dinner. We walk to the refrigerator, open it up, and go, we don't have anything. And then we go, what time is it? The time on the clock determines which store we go to based on what's open. And then we go retrieve a food. And sometimes it's a gas station. I wish I was joking about any of that.
Sometimes, yeah. So in other words, your savings go toward gas. No. Luckily, at least in Raleigh, like all these things are kind of really close to each other. So it's just Costco, Wegmans, Trader Joe's are all like kind of in the same area.
Briar
Target
Creek
is right by our house. Not Briar Creek. Near Wake Forest Road, closer to downtown.
Okay, gotcha. No, I mean
because Walmart's expensive. I like no joke. Grocery shop like Walmart is not cheap for groceries, folks.
No.
Here's the deal. It's not cheap for groceries. Don't do Walmart for groceries.
Don't do Walmart. It's not. I listen. Ghostbusters fans are going to be faced with some very interesting times coming up.
Yeah.
Because we're on the brink. Some would say the Brian brink of some really impressive Ghostbusters collectibles. Like we live in a world where for years Masters of the Universe and Thundercats and G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles and all these other things have had all these incredible offerings, and now Ghostbusters fans we're getting that golden ticket. But will they show up and actually spend the money?
Oh God.
It's a different Turtles fans are different. Ninja Turtles fans are wired differently than Ghostbusters fans. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because Ghostbusters fans came to be during the Reagan years and Ninja Turtles fans were during the Clinton years. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. Just bring it all back to like nonsensical politics and make no sense.
Good Lord.
But Turtles fans will buy anything. Every company is making Ninja Turtles figures right now. And I mean, a couple. Are you in that Facebook group, the Party Wagon? It's a great, great Turtles collector group. And every product that comes out, everybody collectively goes, "Yeah, we're getting it. I don't care how much it is." And like Ghostbusters is like just a different thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It is a crossroads. It is a crossroads for Ghostbusters fans for sure, because this is a put up or shut up moment with a Ghostbusters HasLab and Mondo doing real Ghostbusters figures. And I hope people like myself that have been clamoring for Ghostbusters stuff show up. Silver K, smack that like, y'all. Yeah, please, everybody, smack the like button.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, sure.
Who do you want Winston and Ray to come with, Ghost-wise?
Definitely need Sandman.
Definitely.
And
Grundle?
Grundle. Those would be the two.
There's so many.
But I feel like your big bad ghosts.
Right.
Yeah, that would be my pick. There's a lot of others that I love, but depends on scale. Like Bird of Kildarby would be cool.
Yeah.
Killer Watt, either the original ghost or the big kaiju thing.
Well, what about, was it the first episode where all the toys become a giant kaiju?
Yeah. There's a lot of giant kaijus. The Cthulhu looks cool.
Yeah.
Mrs. Rogers.
That would be awesome.
One of my favorite episodes is was it The Man Who Never Came Home? Man Who Never Came Home. It's the one where it's like there's this it's a cool little episode where this guy leaves a hotel in the 1800s He's kind of a jerk, kind of a Scrooge kind of thing.
Oh, right.
There's
Okay,
the
yeah.
rider that's chasing him. That'd be cool to get like the rider with the wagon and the horse or something. That'd be neat.
There's just so many deep cuts and so many episodes, and
Right?
so many versions of Slimer and
Murray the Mantis. I don't know if I don't want Murray the Mantis unless it was like a Stay Puft Murray the Mantis kind of 2-pack or something.
My dream figures would be People Busters.
Oh well, yes,
or
but that's not a pack-in. I want just a set of the People
a
Busters.
set, and then a San Diego Comic-Con 4-pack of them as the Beatles from the episode, the Play Them
Is it
Ragtime Blues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite episode of the real Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yeah, it was just one of those VHS ones that I just
that's
it's just like When the Saints Go Marching In over and over.
Yeah.
The whole also them and their jammies would be good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sleep caps.
Yeah, it's funny, mine connects to a VHS tape as well. It was the Bird of Kildarby ones, which said Bird of Kildarby, Night Game, and Lost and Foundry.
Listen, not to go on a little tangent. Kind of funny and weird that after a long day's work at the Ghostbusters firehouse, the four of them all sleep in the same room and put on their long nightgowns and sleep hats. As adult male scientists tend to do. Just saying.
Who says we're losing the room? Like, we still got 380 people watching right now. This is prime content right here.
Okay.
Move on. Anywho, let's move on. Mondo, New York Comic Con exclusive Faker.
I mean, what can you say if you're a Masters of the Universe fan? You've got you have active lines going. You've got MOTU Origins, you've got Masterverse. You could go backwards and collect classics or vintage. And you've got Mondo doing these incredible 1/6 scale figures. So this is what they're teasing, a 1/6 Faker?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, they've done a couple Fakers, but I would assume this is going to be like a deluxe Faker of some sort. They did their teaser image a couple of days ago. So, I'd be curious. I'll be curious to see what it looks like in full, but Faker is a figure that I kind of want. So, if you don't, or if you aren't a patron, Mondo gifted me a deluxe He-Man. And then this gentleman right here, Jeff George, gifted me a Battle Cat. So I'm kind of
whoa, rewind. Who is Jeff George and why is he handing out free Battle Cats?
It's a fun story. You should join After Dark where I share it, however long ago that happened. But
there you go. That's a reason enough. Everybody go join the Patreon.
He's one of my dudes. He's a good people. Great guitarist. Check him out.
Speaking of
humble brags.
Okay.
Oh! It sounded like you're getting ready to go into the Hotel California solo right there.
Okay.
That was good. That was really good.
That's called A minor. Learn it, folks. It's a good one.
I mean, it's A minor, E minor.
G
major.
We love E minor. Hey, you know what I'm excited for?
Sure.
I don't know if you're going to get to this. The 2000X 1/12 scale.
Oh, I know. We gotta see some more of those. I'm really excited for the Mondo panel. I can't wait. I think we're both gonna head down to their booth afterwards. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we are.
Folks.
And hey, by the way, the reason the Mondo, it's not just the products. Hector and Peter are awesome at hosting a panel. They're just the best.
And Alex, like that whole crew, the best. The best.
Alex. Damn fine man of the toy industry.
Is he our greatest hero?
Who?
He may be. Alex? Because, I mean, he's basically single-handedly brought those RGB figures into existence. Even
He
the
did, and
possibility
there's
of them.
conspiracy. I've actually talked about, where was I? I was on some other podcast. I don't know. I think I was on Toy Power podcast, which is based out of Australia. Really had a fun time. But there are people who theorize that Mondo, like, it was like an inside job to test the waters, and I'm like, you guys don't understand. Alex is just like a mad genius in the lab, and he was just like, by the way, it's coming up on a year ago. I think it was last Halloween,
Yeah, it was last Halloween.
and it worked. Viral marketing. He tested the waters and made it to where it happened. Also, go watch Gotham City Tonight with Alex and Dole.
Yeah, he's on there with Ryan Dole. But yeah, yeah, people that think that was some kind of inside job, nope, no way. Michael Woods, Mondo is killing my wallet, but I love it. Trust me, they're killing all our wallets. But I'll be curious. I'll be curious to see how this one looks in real life. And speaking of Masters of the Universe, Mattel dropped their 2025 product line. Usually I try to do like a video on the channel.
Yeah.
But Mattel sent this to us the night before, and there just wasn't enough time for me to get a video done before I had to go to work.
Well, I'm still not on the Mattel Masters of the Universe fun list, but I'm trying really hard. Having said that, I guess you can't be an influencer for everything. Can you make
listen, I heard you were getting some boo what are they called? Frosty Frights? I heard you're getting some Frosty Frights.
We got a huge box of Wendy's Frosty Frights, and we tried to shill for them, but Jacob would not let it happen.
What? Give them to me.
No. I mean, I don't. You could take them if you really want them. I really like them.
I'm going to Wendy's tomorrow. I gotta get my Frosty Frights.
I gotta get my They sent a really cool box. It was awesome. Yeah, no, we opened them live. Abby opened them on Toy Anxiety the other night. It was great. Having said all that, what do we got from New Eternia here? Because this is my wheelhouse. I haven't seen this yet.
So most of these we've already seen.
Okay,
A lot were at Comic-Con. I believe I think the Flying Fist, Fisto, Roboto, Evelyn, Beastman, Skelecon were at Comic-Con. King Randor and Skeletor showed up a couple weeks ago, or over the course of the past couple weeks. The only like truly new one that we haven't seen yet is this vintage collection Zodak. Another thing I think is kind of important is when the Skeletor came out, we're having questions of, okay, does this mean, there's another kind of subline for Masterverse? And I guess this confirms it because we have Skeletor and Zodak as part of the vintage collection, which obviously is tapping into the classic vintage style looks. And then we've got New Eternia, which we all love this toy line. And it's going to be your kind of, new ideas being brought forth, which so originally at Comic-Con, I think, I saw Dan Larson criticize this. I criticized it as well. I didn't like the Fisto because he wasn't just the fist, it's his whole arm. So I think now that you split off these things to where you could have a more traditional Fisto and vintage, and then New Eternia can just go off and do more weird stuff, I kind of like this split between the two. What's your thoughts on that?
So I get it, right? So if they want to, it's funny because New Eternia it almost felt like a little bit of a reaction to people not like that first wave of Masterverse is pretty polarizing, right?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And then I do think that the Revelation and Revolution figures have gotten better and more interesting.
Yep.
But I think New Eternia was almost like a reaction to, hey, I know everybody was expecting Masterverse to kind of be like the new version of MOTU Classics, so it is now, right? But then it was
kind of happy,
right? But now it almost feels like the vintage collection is even the other step of like New Eternia is really cool, and it's like concept art and reimaginings. But if that's not your thing, here's another new level. So now it feels like vintage collection is like the closest they've gotten back to doing classics almost. And I almost expect a year from now they'll have another subline called Classics HD or something like that. Like they can do whatever they want, basically. But I think it's cool. I think, you know, MOTU fans, there's so many different versions of all these characters. People are buying them, so more options. Good for everybody.
I dig it. I like the split here. This Zodak looks cool. I like that he kind of has this translucent white W thing, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool. And I like the wash on the legs. I think that's neat. And I like he has a blast effect on his gun, and he has this cool little Zodak, you know, uh Doctor Strange effect. Multiple hands. So yeah, I dig this. I dig this as a figure release for sure.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I do wish that. So to praise Mattel, I like that they're putting out like, hey, here's our product line coming up. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the new version of the cross sell. It gets people excited. But I do wish there was a little bit more like fanfare around, hey, we're launching the vintage collection. This is what it is. This is why it exists. This is what you can expect from it like down the road.
They kind of, I don't want to beat them up too much, but they kind of been half-assing it, so to speak. Like again, I felt like, you know, the influencer email and stuff, it literally came out the night before. There wasn't a lot of like prep or anything.
Sure.
It felt kind of like an afterthought. And I think that backs up your thoughts here. Just like the vintage collection could be a really cool thing that you get people excited about, and it's just kind of there.
Also, kind of interesting to name it the vintage collection. That
Yeah,
there is
exactly.
another pretty famous toy line that is actively going called the vintage collection, but
you can't copyright it, Craig. It's too
well,
generic.
Actually, that is the vintage collection. This is just vintage collection. It's TVC and VC. Okay.
You see, they go na-na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, and I go na-na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yes, we've all seen the Vanilla Ice behind the music. But
Isn't
hey,
it wild how just a whole generation
the monoculture, we saw it all together.
We watched those early
Skibbity toilet
behind the musics. Like I also remember just what was it? Was it Leif Garrett's his?
Oh yeah, I mean, I watched all of those. How do you think?
Yeah.
That's
The
when it
Milli
became
Vanilli one. I was like, oh man, he committed suicide. That's so sad.
He did.
That was in the behind the music. Like he was interviewed for it, the one guy, and then he yeah, it was really sad. He was like all depressed and stuff. Those
Because
early behind the musics were depressing.
Wait. Oh, Milli Vanilli. Well, there was two of them. And they
Well,
were
yes,
lip
there was the
syncing.
two guys.
And then one. Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's
one
really
of them, he
good.
was like, he was really, anyways, early, because eventually they got to other bands where there's like, okay, well, it's like Weird Al Yankovic, like nothing bad. It was when Coolio was ticked that he did Amish Paradise, but
I know.
the early ones were depressing, man.
Yeah, well, you know, lots of drugs and all sorts of stuff. But anyways,
okay.
all the I think this is all cool, and I will continue to buy new Eternia figures and have a nice little MOTU display.
You've kind of had an on again, off again relationship with Origins. I am currently on an off again, at least with main retail stuff, because while I do think the cartoon collection is great, especially, you know, as someone that has wanted like cartoon accurate Ghostbuster figures forever, I don't have that same connection to the Filmations version. Same, I don't really have connection to the cartoon version of Turtles. I associate far more with the toys for Turtles.
No, that makes sense.
As well as He-Man. But there's a few that I did really dig. Like we saw She-Ra at Comic-Con. I thought she looked great. I thought Hordak looks really good. Catra looks really good. And I do know that some of these characters like Ram Man, Mantenna, Manny-Faces, Triclops, Faker, Leech, Frosta. Actually, Frosta I think is a good get just to get the character. But those I don't have as much of a desire for.
I just think it's confusing to have like a line with a bunch of sublines, and it's just it's. I get it, right? Like I think sometimes they do this so they can have an extra SKU with another another whatever
Yeah.
thing on the peg to warm. Uh, but overall, man, I think it's good. I think Masters of the Universe has enough of a rabid collector base to support it, and that's
I think
ultimately
so.
a good thing. So yeah.
Yeah. I do dig this Invisible Skeletor because it's translucent plastic. That's always fun. If I see that, I might pick that up. And then Modulock, which will be an Amazon exclusive, says it's cartoon collection, but that's a straight up vintage toy recreation. So
Gotcha.
I think that's a must buy. And then the sketchbook series is interesting. Again, a fun little subline that I would have liked a little bit more pomp and circumstance
Right.
to kind of get us excited about it, other than this kind of little image here. And then another subline, Turtles of Gray Skull. We saw a lot of these at Comic-Con as well. Mechanic Rattler, I think Donatello, and then we've seen Raphael and Leonardo. I don't know if we've seen Michelangelo.
I
But
can't
I think,
believe how deep they're going on
right?
this.
Is this kind of wild? That was like a one wave and done.
But I
But
mean, hey, people are buying them. I guess. I don't know. There's
they
a
are,
all.
I think.
Yeah, I don't. When I walk down the toy aisle at Target, Walmart, my thought is these days like, is anybody buying anything? Because it's pretty stocked. But that's
It's a different time, Craig. The high era of COVID toy collecting is over.
Sure is.
But this Rattler is so cool. The translucent plastic. I think this is really neat.
Very cool
Um,
looking toy.
it's like he's coming out of the normal vintage Rattler action figure, which I think is just, even if you're not in it for the Turtles thing, I think that's just a cool MOTU Origins figure. The Turtles are neat. This Ninjor, which, where are they calling him? I don't even know what they're calling him. Is it in this thing? It's in this thing. Mutated Ninjor. And then the King Hiss is cool. It's a foot trooper, but also has the King Hiss effects. And again, these all use the Origins swappable parts and stuff. So just the amount of cool new parts that they're adding into this, using Nickelodeon's license to probably cover some new tooling that they wouldn't have done otherwise, I think is pretty darn cool. And the Shredder's neat as well.
Could you imagine being a Turtles completist?
Oh God, you're toast. It'll never happen.
You're like, yeah, I actively collect Mattel, Playmates, Super 7, NECA, Loyal Subjects,
I collect
Mondo,
all of it.
every statue.
Oh my God. But anywho, that was the big MOTU
Very cool.
news
Very
from
cool.
this past week. Yeah, and again, but I will say, to Black Phoenix's point, good luck finding King Hiss. I mean, really, any of the exclusives, Walmart is just a joke. So whenever it's an exclusive, it still gets the official. Because yeah, it makes it difficult to find.
There you have it. You said it all.
Clamp Champ, love Clamp Champ.
Yeah, I mean, these are cool. It's just not. I don't have the energy.
You hate Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe. It's fine.
I don't. I actually really enjoy both, but I flat out am burnt out on Ninja Turtles just in general. It's too much of it.
Feel the same way.
It's too much of it. It's everywhere all the time. I sold a bunch of my turtles. I sold a bunch of my vintage turtles. I sold a bunch of my NECA turtles.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not where my priority is right now.
Even though I am kind of oversaturated on turtles, I'm not like no turtles. But it kind of has to be the right thing. I will say my pre-order on Amazon for the Technodrome came in this week. So there will be a video soon that isn't a live stream, which has been a minute.
Very cool.
On opening up that bad boy and comparing it to a vintage one. I know there's probably a multitude, including Toy Shiz, that did a video about it already, but you're gonna get mine.
We need your perspective. It's important.
But anywho, Craig, that's I think that's all I got. Anything you want to add as we close things out here today?
No, this is fun. I speculation is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
when we're gonna get the answer like really soon,
Friday night. The Hasbro panel is Friday night, and it's not just a Ghostbusters panel. They're gonna have reveals from all of the action brands featuring some of your favorite entertainment, in Star Wars and all that.
New play concepts. What the hell they call that?
Play entertainment environments. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever the hell.
Star Wars is like a whole other thing. But no, I'm excited that we're gonna get some answers. And listen, it's the 40th anniversary from Ghostbusters, so we'll be able to have something cool to be excited about. I think it's ultimately a good fun thing.
I think I'm going to be covering New York Comic Con, or at least doing something about New York Comic Con for Toy Collector Magazine. I'll be doing a little article, a little spread.
Really?
Yeah,
little coverage.
Little coverage.
Ooh, I want to do a quote, and even though we haven't gone yet,
yes.
let me just do it now.
Okay, all right. What's your quote?
How about this? We talked to Craig from Yes Have Some Podcasts, and he had to say, quote, "I really think New York Comic Con's great. What a fun time. Good people, good fun, and a lot of fun to be had by all. Mostly it's fun." End quote.
Blake, just so you know, that's going to be in the article.
It's going in. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's cool. I love Toy Collector Magazine. I am a subscriber. I love Blake. He's an awesome guy, and he's supported what we do. And yeah, that's great. But yeah, I'm excited for the reveals. Excited for Mondo, and also New York Comic Con. Just lots of good vendors and booths to check out.
Yeah, I'm bringing, I don't know, maybe I'll pick up some stuff there. Who
bring
knows
a
what
little,
I'll find.
Bring a little spending money.
Cash. Maybe
finally cash that stimulus check.
I've been holding on to that sucker for the right moment.
They're gonna be like, "Sir, these expired at the end of 2021."
No.
No. Just at the bank, they're like, "What's wrong with that guy?" He's like, he's freaking out about this $50 check he never deposited.
Absolutely, Dan. Well, Mondo booth tour, Hasbro, whatever. It's going to be covered. So stay tuned to the channel. Don't miss any of it. And if the internet's good enough, I'll try to do the live stream thing or whatever. That was fun. For sure. And then Gage, thank you for keeping me in check here. I have a HasLab to buy. Don't spend too much. Thank you, Gage. I need that. I need that reality.
I do wonder how much it's going to be, because there's a lot of numbers being thrown around.
I know. And if I need two, that's when I'm screwed.
What's the most you'd be willing to pay
for one?
For an Ecto 1?
God, probably the 300 to 400. Yeah. That would be my tippity top. If it's big, if it's perfect,
right. That
big,
feels like what it's going to be.
With electronics.
I know people are. It should be $100. Like, yeah, I wish. And if and people will say, well, Todd McFarlane makes big vehicles. Let me tell you something about McFarlane vehicles. They are like big chunks of plastic that are flimsy, and they're not great. That's why they're $60.
Yes. And they're fine if you look at them from a certain distance. But yes, they are hollow, cheap plastic.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm going to put it in the chat real quick. People want me to put it in the poll. I'm going to put 200, 300, 350, 400. Let's assume this has lights and sounds and stuff.
Let's assume it has lights, sounds, and
licensed.
Licensed?
Like, meaning it's like a licensed GM.
Like it has a Cadillac logo and all that.
Yeah, because while I love the Playmobil ones, it's not licensed, so they add the third little light to the bottom. It kind of bugs me. Just pay GM. They did DeLorean. They paid DeLorean, and they don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, who takes the DeLorean money? Like some guy, like, hey, I'm DeLorean.
Somebody bought the brand, because you see they're doing that DeLorean time capsule thing.
The NFTs.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't know what this is, and I love DeLoreans, and I don't know how to buy it. I tried, but I couldn't. Didn't work.
I don't know how to make NFT work.
I don't. But they had you could get the little canister thing. It was stupid. Damn it, Craig. Actually, it's damn Craig.
Damn, Craig.
If we're gonna say it right, it's important.
From when we were on TV together.
Primetime national TV, Craig.
We did great.
Number one on our slot.
I hate my hair in that. They really they gave me a haircut before we went on. Did they cut your hair?
No. I came in with good hair. They're like, oh, no, your hair looks great.
I came in with this hair and they made it bad. I wanted to be
it
like,
was just
look,
shorter, right? It wasn't as big, right?
I'm 40 years old and have a full head of hair. That's rare. Let me live. Let me exist. Cut my hair. Don't bring scissor to
maybe
me.
they were worried about the height, because it was so, maybe they wanted a little bit.
Don't want to touch the ceiling of the studio.
I think somebody said I missed super chats. Let me push that in. Chris says, hello, Jay and Craig. I'm still waiting on the new Masterverse Eternia Mosquito and planning on getting Mondo RGB figures. Cool. We got to get Mosquito. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Don't worry. It's gotta happen. And yes, can't wait. Hopefully Mondo has some more RGB stuff. It has been quiet on the RGB front for Mondo. So hopefully we get some good stuff there.
Hey, J Solo Arts. I did hate my wardrobe. That's not what I wanted to wear either.
They made you wear that?
Well, you
presented options because I
presented options and I hated that shirt, but I was planning. I had like a pretty cool jacket that I was going to wear over it, and they listen. Let's just face it: the people at the Judge Steve Harvey show do not know what I want to look like.
Oh man, thank you for those that gifted memberships, Chad, Johnny Cock, and Chris. Thank you for gifting those, and thank you for everybody being in the chat tonight, being a lively chat. If you want to come hang out in After Dark, Gary and I will be hunting, or at least I will be hunting, some more Palisades Muppets. Craig, I've been on this Palisades Muppets kick lately.
Well, you should be. They scale with the neck of Sesame Street figure.
Exactly. So
you got one. You got Beaker?
No, this is Pepe.
Oh, I can't see it all. I was going to brag about how good my eyesight is. Apparently, no. Pepe.
But anyway, so we'll be doing that and other things. We'll be sharing some of the stuff that I picked up. But anywho, Craig, anything coming up? What's on Toy Anxiety this week before you make the trek to New York?
Geez, I don't even know. Jake still doesn't have internet because of the hurricane.
Damn.
But we'll just I'll probably just sign on and tell people to watch this and then go take a nap. That'll be toy. No, we'll have some fun. We got some pickups. I got a package from Matt Bush, nice. Which was awesome. Thank you to him. We'll be showing some of that stuff off and talking about our upcoming trip to Comic-Con. And then on YHS, we'll be covering, we just went to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, so we'll probably be covering some of that. And sub to our channels, follow us on Instagram is a place that we are really active. So at YHS Podcast on Instagram for our latest adventures. And that's it. That's all. I've actually been posting more content to Facebook, more video content to Facebook,
wow.
Reels and stuff.
Mark
like that.
Zuckerberg, let's go. Talk about a glow up. Talk about showing more hair, Mark Zuckerberg.
There,
grow out.
He did. He invented Facebook, and then he invented new hair. They made a movie, Social Network 2, The Hair-ning.
We're so good. I love that.
Social Network. You like that one?
That's like a good airplane movie that I'll drop. Like any Sorkin movie, I feel like it's a good airplane.
See, that's why I think you'll like Saturday Night. It has if you watch Studio 60 on the Sunset
Love
Strip,
Studio 60.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that vibe. It's got some Sorkin vibe. It's got some
a lot of good walk and talk. I love a good walk and talk.
The whole movie's a choreographed long one-shot walk and talk. It's fantastic.
Yes.
So
thank you everybody for being really kind about the Padres. They lost. It was really whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm depressed about it. But that's baseball, your team, only one team gets to win it all, and mine team didn't. But Craig, if you need somebody on Tuesday, there's no playoff baseball. Like, I'm happy to sub in for Jake if you need somebody. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't need
even if he's there, you should come hang out. Talk about the panel.
We're gonna be hanging out a lot. So like, if you don't want me, I get it. But if you need someone, I'm there.
Thanks, dude. 2 thumbs up. Fireworks.
Whoa! 2 peace signs. That's confetti, I think. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wish this made like waves, like surfer waves, but it does nothing.
It should. Yeah, surfer waves would be dope. There's a lot they could add that they haven't done yet. A good one's like middle finger, like some type of like maybe like flames behind you or something. Like
I can't wait to do in like a year and a half when we're doing pickups and I bring out that new Tesla robot. And I'm like, yeah, here's my new robot. He's been mowing my lawn all day. Matt Bush sent it to me. And yeah, those things are stupid. And
so dumb. So dumb.
What do you think? Here's my question. What do you think
Okay.
will happen first with the Tesla robot? Will one kill
Nothing.
somebody or will somebody spend intimate moments with it? What
I
happens
think
first?
there's whatever. My thing with Tesla is I'll believe it when I see it's an actual finished thing. Because aren't we still waiting on the Tesla Roadster too? Like it's just the Cybertruck was far less than what they presented. Like whatever.
Oh, but it's so much more, Jay. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, because I have a Tesla dealership like right down the road from our house. So
we do have the self-driving Ubers in Atlanta now.
Oh, fun.
But they have a person at the wheel as a backup.
Just in case.
Just in case. It's basically like the whole concept is, what if your Uber was just like driving school? Like, okay. It's like another guy just in case.
Anyway, on that note, wait, where is it? There we go. Thank you so much for hanging out. Stay tuned to all of our stuffs. Jay Solars just followed YHS on Insta. You should follow it as well.
Thank you.
And stay tuned to our channels. We'll be at Comic-Con. And again, 6:30 headlining act for Toy Day at Comic-Con. Toy Tubers Unites. We'll be recapping it all at the convention. Well, as long as they let me live stream it, I'll do it like we've done the San Diego ones. So that we'll do that, and of course we'll be videos and all that stuff from the floor and stuff like that. So stay tuned, folks. We're gonna have some fun. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you, everybody.